In a MAC-AIDS Fund survey, a third of teens don't even realize that HIV is an STD, and most of them don't even believe that they could catch the disease. We talk about all this and more on Fahrenheit TV. Fahrenheit TV's home. Say Fahrenheit TV. Hello and welcome back to Fahrenheit TV. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode. Today we're going to talk about a very, very important subject, HIV. Now these three words can mean a lot of different things. And today I'm so honored to have three beautiful guests join me, part of the S.E.X.Y crew, Irvine Goldstein, Jennifer Letzum, and Tasha Campbell. Thank you ladies so much for joining me today.
No problem.
No problem. So, before we get into the incredible work that your organization does, I really want to talk about this survey done by the MAC-AIDS Fund survey. And they found that a third of U.S. teens don't even realize that HIV is a STD. And some other cool, fun things they found out is that nearly 1 in 4 wouldn't even share a drink with someone that has HIV. When you guys look at these results, what do you think that tells us about the youth today and the stigma around HIV?
I definitely think it's there needs to be a little more knowledge shared with folks. I feel like HIV is still highly stigmatized, and people think that, you know, if I sneeze next to somebody and I have HIV, maybe somebody's going to get it, or if, like, for example, somebody's going to touch a glass of somebody and drink the same thing and get HIV, but it's definitely not how it's transmitted, and like we try to disseminate the right type of information so we can kind of like destigmatize it and also make folks a little more comfortable around that topic to talk about it.
And it's even crazy that a third of U.S. teens don't even know that it's a STD. What do you think about that, Irvine?
I think we need a lot more work in terms of education and prevention, and also, you know, real talk with folks as well too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in terms of the history of HIV. It's become more treatable if someone has been diagnosed with AIDS. We've had a lot of good treatment advances, but prevention is still the basic key in people having information.
And according to the CDC, 13 to 24-year-olds are the biggest population that are getting these new statuses. What do you think about that, Tasha?
So we definitely know that throughout the country and also in the state of Massachusetts, but also in the city of Boston, young people, especially young African American and Latino ages 13 to 24, are the highest newly infected group of people.
Yes.
So a lot of the events that we do, a lot of the programmings that we have are targeting that population.
Okay.
We want to educate them, we want to inform them, we want to let them know that this is preventable, because if the young people keep getting infected, then we're not going to get to an AIDS-free generation.
Especially if we're not giving them the right information and the right, resources. So let's talk about S.E.X.Y. What exactly is S.E.X.Y?
Well, S.E.X.Y stands for Sophisticated, Empowered, Extraordinary You.
You guys are all wearing the t-shirts. I love it. Very, very fierce. Yes.
And it's a social media campaign to be able to inform the community around HIV and AIDS, to be able to reduce stigma, to be able to bring awareness, resources, share resources from the community, especially to women of color in the city of Boston. And what we're able to do with that is use social media, engage with people that do non-traditional work in Boston. So that would mean club promoters, poets, musicians, different artists, shop owners, hair salon owners.
So is that like cross promotion, or like how does that work exactly?
It's also like a cross promotion, so you're doing a hair show. We'll show up and talk about HIV, and it's like what it does is that we're normalizing the conversation in settings where
Yeah.
people in the community already are.
Yeah, that's
You're going to the
awesome.
farmer's market, we might have a table and be passing out information.
That's so cool.
So that's what we're trying to do, is just let's talk about it everywhere. Let's talk about it in different settings so that people feel more comfortable with it.
That's cool. So Jennifer, what are some of the things you guys did this summer for Safer is Sexy to, go out in the community and engage people in these conversations?
Like Tasha was saying, we do a lot of like non-traditional partners with organizations, which is really fun for us because we get to reach people where they spend a lot of their time. So we went to the Urban Music Festival this summer, and we had a chance to kind of outreach in the community, talk to people about HIV/AIDS, have a table there set up, and kind of just be a resource if people are like milling around and listening to music and want to have something to do in the meantime. We were there. We partnered with Seems to Be Streets, which is kind of like an independent fashion show where
Ooh, you did a fashion show?
we did.
That must have been incredible.
We did, and we actually
Yeah.
wore our Safer is Sexy shirts, and we got to dazzle them up, and we had a chance to create posters and kind of talk about issues on our posters that had to relate to safer sex practices. So that was really fun.
And walk down the street of.
We walked down Blue Hill. It was
Blue Hill.
great.
Blue Hill,
Blue
yes.
Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
I was so lucky to be part of that. So that was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
So Irvine, why would you use social media as a tool for this organization?
So, the social media aspect is one aspect of a larger program, right? So at ABCD Health Services, we have community-based programs that are kind of like the traditional workshops, really great workshops.
Yeah.
So we have a workshop that's called 3 Steps in 30 Days.
Yes.
And that allows young women 18 to 25 to be able to take some time to really look at their sexual health and to really look at how they're going to really protect themselves.
Is this a free event for people to come
It
to?
is free, and people actually get incentives for completing it.
Wow, you guys hear that? Free and you get a gift? That's amazing.
You do.
Yeah.
So in 30 days, we would have educated you about HIV, about some of the context in terms of how do we take care of not only our sexual health, but wellness as well.
And how it transitions to the 8 components of wellness?
Yes, exactly, right? So it's not just physical, it's also mental and emotional and spiritual as
Yeah,
well.
economic and all
Exactly.
sorts of,
All of those things
all
affect
connect.
us as individuals,
Yes.
right? And then the second step is finding out your HIV status.
Wow, so you get tested for free.
You get tested for free. You get a $10 gift card when you do. And then we have an individual appointment that's called Sister to Sister, where you're able to sit down and look at how you may have been at risk in the past, how you can protect yourself in the future, be able to practice negotiation skills. I think besides not knowing information or the correct information, a lot of times we don't even personalize our own risk.
Yeah.
So we always think it's the other person and never
like
us.
it can't be me
It can't
because
be
it's
me.
not my
It's-
type. and-
right. It's always somebody else and not me.
HIV does not discriminate. We want to make that very clear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one of our programs. So the social media is an aspect of that allows us to get to more people, right? To create awareness. We want to do some mobilization as well. How can we get people involved in what it is that we're doing? So it's one aspect, and it's a new aspect, right?
Yeah.
Because public health is trying to figure out how do we use
How to
social
reach
media
people.
to reach
It's really
people.
hard nowadays with the various amounts of technology that
Right.
we have. I really want to go back to the 3 in 30 program. So Jennifer, you got to participate in it. How was that experience for you?
I actually really enjoyed the 3 Steps in 30-Day program. Tasha was actually facilitating when I was there, and I also met Irvine for the first time, which was great. And I like that it was kind of like women talking about our issues in a really non-judgmental space, and I like that it was really interactive. So it's like Irvine was saying, personalizing our care. That's the time when we get to talk about our experiences and then have like folks that are facilitating kind of like share with us, well, that may have put you at risk, or like, have you thought about it in this way? And so that's what I really enjoyed about the 3 in 30. So
And I also got to participate, and I think one of the main things I loved about it is I got to ask questions I might be afraid to ask my doctor. I might be a little, uncomfortable. So it was awesome that we got. And don't you guys have one coming up?
3 Steps in 30 Days are every second Saturdays
Okay.
of the month, and I can never remember the site to the Eventbrite, but you can literally just go online and register. And the only requirement is that you identify as female and you are between the ages of 18 to 25.
That's awesome.
And it's safersexy.eventbrite.com.
Okay.
Again, safersexy.eventbrite.com.
Yes. All right. So what do you hope people will gain from Safer is Sexy? What is the main message you guys want to throw out people?
You know, I think a lot of times, of course, you know, we're talking about difficult issues, right? So when we talk about HIV, when we talk about AIDS, you know, we're talking about a disease, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, one of the things that I've found is that talking about this issue has really given me the gift of being able to talk about sexuality. And for all of us across the cultures, and particularly for women, you know, that's not something that we talk about. And because, you know, to really protect ourselves, it means that we have to do that. I feel like that's a gift.
Yes.
So Sexy is about really kind of like reclaiming that, you know? So it's not just the media kind of use of sex to sell things.
Yeah, just selling us these images of what they think sexuality is. It's about taking control for your own sexuality.
And it's your sexy, you know, and what that means, and we all have a sexy.
Yeah, and you guys do that part of social media, right? You ask people what makes you feel sexy.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So we want people to be able to have a healthy and enjoyable sex life.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever that means for them.
And one of the things we aim for is not only is it healthy, but it's also positive.
Right.
Yeah.
And removing so much of the fact that women shouldn't enjoy sex,
Yeah.
that women shouldn't engage in sex. It's a part of life.
Yeah.
We don't judge people for what they do. What
You just want to make sure that they're safe when they do
what
it.
you do behind closed doors is what you do behind closed doors. What we're concerned about is the fact that there's so many different modes and methods of transmission, especially when it comes to HIV and other STIs.
Yeah.
And we just want you to be safe. So by letting people know how it is that they can get infected, we're providing them with the tools for them to do and want whatever they want behind closed doors, but in a safer manner. And they have to make that choice. We're just giving them the tools and the resources to be able to do so.
That's awesome. You guys do incredible work. And Jen, I wanted to ask you, so you're a nursing student. What does this experience mean for you to be part of this, you know, this squad, you guys like to call it?
We do call each other a squad, which is great. And as a nursing student, I think like seeing this, it's really cool because we're teaching folks kind of to advocate for themselves in all settings. And I think a lot of times when people go into a healthcare office, they're very intimidated by the doctors, the nurses, all the healthcare personnel bustling around, and they answer the questions that their healthcare provider will ask them. And if their healthcare provider is uncomfortable about asking about sexual history, STIs, and infections, they're not going to be able to be comfortable talking about it. And sometimes, I mean, I work with healthcare providers that forget to ask sexual history questions all the time because they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so by talking about this in an open space with peers, folks can feel comfortable about talking about it. And when they bring this to an intimidating space like maybe a healthcare office, they can feel empowered and be like, well, you didn't ask me about this. Can we talk about this? I'm a little worried about it. So I like that this kind of opens that conversation to empower people to take this conversation beyond just us and move it on to other places.
Sophisticated, empowered, extraordinary you. Thank you ladies so much for being part of Fahrenheit TV. After this, we're going to be playing a game show with the ladies of Safer is Sexy. Let's see how much knowledge they know and you know right after this.
Michael Adams? Here. Michael Adams? Here. Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
At your age, you're going to be having a lot of urges. You're going to want to take off your clothes and touch each other. But if you do touch each other, you will get chlamydia and die.
Maybe that's a little dramatic, but STDs is a real issue. To find out how you can stay safe and sexy, visit our social media pages. Sexy is confidence.
When you take care of yourself.
Way that they perceive the world and then what they give back to it.
If somebody carries themselves, their self-respect.
The confidence to assert yourself in all aspects of life, whether it's your sexual life or your career.
Just being happy and being sexy. I mean, sexy is what you think sexy is to you. You know what I mean? Like, these glasses are very sexy.
Like your sex appeal, and definitely just knowing what you're doing. And shows that you take care of yourself, and that's a sexy thing.
S stands for...
Sophisticated to me means like you having knowledge of the world and how the world works and having experience in it, but still being able to inject a little bit of you inside, and it's like appropriate, it's you, and it's unique.
E stands for...
So to be empowered, it's like self-empowerment. It's to know that I have the power and that no one else can take it from me or give it to me.
X stands for...
To be what the world expects is ordinary, but to give a little extra and be the most fabulous and sexy you that you can be is simply extraordinary.
Y stands for... I means to me basically embracing every curve, every inch, and every attribute of your beautiful body. You know what I mean? It's really taking empowerment and putting yourself first. Sophisticated, empowered, extraordinary you. The S.E.X.Y squad was built on a sisterhood of young intellects who care for their community. Together, they provide resources, information, and workshops to ensure everyone in their community that their health matters. To find out more about the S.E.X.Y squad, visit us on our social media pages and be sure to follow. Remember, safer is always sexy. Fahrenheit TV. Hello and welcome back to Fahrenheit TV. We're gonna play Fahrenheit TV's Family Feud right here on Fahrenheit TV. Woo! All right, welcome back, guys. So we got to survey 10 people and we asked them simple questions about, sexual health and HIV and STDs. And now we're gonna put the S.E.X.Y squad to the test. Let's see if they could get these answers right. First question, what is the best contraceptives for birth control? On your mark, get set, go. I think it was you guys first. So what is the best contraceptives for birth control, Jennifer?
The best contraceptive for birth control is the one that fits your lifestyle and your choices. So if I want to use condoms, if I know I use condoms all the time, I'd use them. But if I don't, maybe I want to use like a NuvaRing.
Okay. So we have condoms or, other different things. What else do you think, Tasha?
So when we're talking about contraceptive as a method of birth control, if you're someone that do not remember to take your pills every day around the same time, then maybe a pill method is not the best method for you. So something that's not regulated or you have to, or have any man control over, like an insertive contraceptive method. So we have the NuvaRing is one of them, an IUD is one of them, but as well as the Implant, thank you. Those are methods that they can be inserted by your physician and removed only by your physician, and that you don't have to remember every day to take any type of pill.
Okay, that's good. So, so far we got the NuvaRing, we got the DUI. What are other ways you could prevent, pregnancy? What do you guys think?
Well, condom, I would say, would probably be the best.
The best answer?
Or use more.
Use more
across
condoms.
the world.
And what type of condoms are we talking about? Just male condoms? A lot of people don't know there's female condoms out there.
There is.
Yeah.
But I would say probably male condoms are used by most people across the world for both pregnancy prevention and disease prevention.
Okay, all right, so these are your final answers, right? All right, let's reveal what the audience thought some of the best contraceptives were. Okay, so it seems like we got abstinence, condoms is one, birth control, vasectomy, tubes tied, and pulling out. Pulling out maybe might not work all the time, you know? So I would definitely use the other contraceptives. What would you guys say?
Better that than nothing.
Yeah.
So if all else fails, or if that's the only method or that's the only thing that's available, if you don't know where to get free condoms and free resources, you can go to any of our family planning sites here in the city of Boston, any health center, or you can definitely come and visit us at ABCD Health Services, which is at 105 Chauncey Street. And we also have all kinds of condoms available. Insertive condom, regular condom, as well as latex-free
And they're all free.
All free.
All free, guys, right in Chinatown. Level 2. Let's go to the next question. All right. Next question. According to our survey, what do you think is the most common sexual disease in America? Oh, I didn't even say go yet. All right, ready? Mark, set, go. All right. I'll give it to you guys. All right.
I would think that would be herpes.
Herpes? All right, that's a good one, Liz. What else do you think, Tosh?
Irvine,
excuse me. Irvine.
I'd actually go with her.
Okay, herpes, number one.
I'll stick with my teammate.
Okay, see, this team is doing great. All right, let's see what this team thinks.
I'm thinking chlamydia.
Chlamydia? Okay, well, according to the survey, chlamydia is indeed the number one sexual disease in America, and actually in Boston as well, guys. Yeah.
That's what people are saying.
That's what people are saying, yeah, according to the survey. Yeah.
That herpes could be scientifically the most common.
Well, herpes is actually on the list. I will tell you guys what is on the list. So we have chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, and herpes. So we do have it on the list, but according to them, chlamydia is the number one.
From the 10 people.
Yeah, from the 10 people. But all of these STDs are, things that are going on. What do you guys think about that? Like, people catching these and...
Well, we do know that in Boston, chlamydia is really on the rise.
Yeah.
So between young people 15 to 24, we've been experiencing high chlamydia rates within the city of Boston as well.
Wow.
So that's really important. But that changes a lot, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't see things happen and then we see it a lot.
What do you think of the stigma? Why do you think this is happening? Like, a lot of people are catching it. Is it because they're just like, yay, let's catch it? Or you think it's because they don't know the effects, they're not aware of it, they don't think it's going to be them?
One of the huge things I would say is the fact that people are not having conversations with their partners before they're having sex or when they feel that itch or burn.
Yeah.
A huge thing that is now stigmatized is the fact that monogamy is not really a thing for young people anymore.
Oh, no.
And we're questioning why is that. So we know that the media has a lot to it. We know that celebrities has a lot to it. But the fact is, if you talk to your partner before, if you talk to your partner during your relationship, and if you talk to your partner, if you feel something's uncomfortable and you get checked it out, that's what's going to reduce you getting infected.
Yes.
Or that's going to then reduce the stigma when it comes to getting an STI.
Okay.
And not everybody experiences symptoms.
Yeah,
so you can
that's the thing.
you can read the symptoms and it can be very clear, but you might not experience it.
Yeah.
And chlamydia is one sexually transmitted infection that you could actually have gotten from a previous relationship.
You have no
and
idea.
you carried it into another relationship and
Yeah.
you have no idea.
What is your advice on that if you're not sure if you have something?
Get tested before,
Yes.
get tested during, and get tested after each relationship. That's what I standardly tell people, because then you know what it is you're coming into a relationship or an interaction, right? That doesn't mean to say you have to be all booed up or coupled up, but get tested before. Ask your partner to get tested with you, and ask your partner their status and when the last time they got tested.
Yeah.
And after you leave a relationship for whatever, or a situationship, whatever it is you're into, make sure that you get tested after so that you know where you are after this relationship ended.
All right.
And with that, I would include, practicing safer behaviors.
Yes.
Right? That's important. And the one thing I want to add too is that having a sexually transmitted disease actually makes it easier for HIV transmission to happen.
And a lot of people do not know that.
Right.
So even when that MAC survey said a lot of people, they don't think they're even at risk to catch it. If you have chlamydia, you are even more at risk to catch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you have HIV, it makes treating the STI even harder.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not going to be the regular antibiotic anymore that will have that effect. So it's very important.
Listen up, Fahrenheit TV viewers, because things are getting real. And the next question, talking about having conversations with your partners, is what is the most, what gender do you think is dishonest about their sexual past? Are you
Very quick.
Get set, go. Oh, okay, Liz, what do you think? Which gender is the most dishonest about their sexual past?
I rang it for her, but
What do you think, men or women?
I honestly would think it'd be equal, maybe. But I think women would kind of advocate that they've only been with so many partners to kind of minimize it, to keep a thought of purity in the male counterpart's eyes. And I think men would kind of exaggerate
To,
how
like,
many
be
women,
proud, like,
how
proud
many
of it.
women he has been with to show off that he's a player or has some sort of status. I think, especially with the younger generation, that could definitely be a factor.
Wow. Yeah. See, this is deep, and this is how people think. You know, a lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, no, it's women. Oh, no, it's definitely men. But I think we all play a role in this, and we all have, you know, we have to be the innocent one for the women sometimes, and men is like, nah, I have to sleep with everybody I see.
Yeah.
So, you know, this
But
is
that's the message that we get as
Yes.
male and females, right?
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I think I would agree that probably both sexes, if not dishonest, maybe just don't disclose every single thing.
Yeah.
You know, but disclosure has different consequences whether you're male or female.
It definitely
So if we
does.
disclose as females that we've had partners, we get labeled as sluts and whores and all of those kinds of things,
Yeah.
whereas it's not the same. So I think, you know, our gender and the role and what we learn, and those are the things that why we have Safer is Sexy and 3 Steps in 30 Days.
Yes.
Because to protect yourself, it means that you have to talk about STIs, you have to talk about sex.
You have to be
And
honest
as women,
about it.
and as women, we don't, you know, we don't learn. We're not the ones supposed to talk about that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's nice that for Safer is Sexy in the 3 in 30 Days program, you guys are in a safe environment where you won't feel, you know, embarrassed to say what you've done. It's to, you know, get the resources that you need and make sure that you're safe. Right. Well, according to the survey, guys, let's reveal the answers. So it seems that both is indeed right. Woo! You guys are going great. And then men and then women. So you guys are right. All the conversations about, you know, the consequences and about the roles we have to play in society about our sexual past is very, very true. All we're saying is be safe, be honest, so that way we will prevent, you know, bad things from happening.
I do think everybody has a right to decide what they disclose about their
definitely.
sexual health.
You don't have to say everything.
But that they should be honest in the sense of not putting their partner at risk.
At risk, yes. All right, so question 4, we're almost done, almost there. All right, worldwide, who does HIV affect the most? All right, Mark, get set. I didn't even say go. Okay, Mark, get set, go. All right, you got that, Tasha. Who do you think is that, you know, HIV affects the most? Worldwide.
Women.
Women, yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
In the world.
Everywhere in the world. Women. Why do you think women? Why do you think that would be one of the...
So women's bodies are shaped completely different than men's bodies. So we're more susceptible to fluids. The way our vaginas are shaped are just open spaces, warm spaces for semen, for bodily secretions to be able to just rest, stay, and grow.
Yes.
So I believe that women's body are set up in a way that it's easier for us to get infected easily. And there are more women in the world than men.
Yeah, so you
So
think
if anybody's affected by anything else, statistics say that Women would be the ones more infected with HIV.
Okay. Jennifer, what do you think? Who else would be on that
definitely,
list?
I feel like the person on the receiving end of a bodily fluid inside would be at risk. So that definitely has to go with women or maybe receptive partners for LGBT folks that are receiving fluids.
Okay. All right. What do you guys think about this issue? Doing great, doing great.
I would think it could be women as well, because culturally, you look at some societies as well that don't necessarily practice monogamy or where it's less common. And women are honestly in many countries and many areas in the world the ones that will be monogamous to a partner that has maybe more than one partner.
Yeah.
It's polyamorous. So in these countries where this happens as well, this issue about this whole talk of like sexual health and different aspects relating to that, the conversation isn't going on.
Yeah,
So-
compared to America, you are very, very right about that, Liz. What do you think, Irene?
Well, I think for every woman that's infected, there's a man that's infected.
Yes.
When you look at the world. I think in different countries it might be different. So in the United States, we may see more men being infected. You know, and that's specific to our country and what's happening, and it might be the same in another country. But I think if you look worldwide, for every man that's infected, there's a woman that's infected. Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys. Are you guys ready to see the answers? Okay, let's reveal the answers. So, according to the survey, gay and bisexual men, 13 to 24-year-olds, Black and African Americans, heterosexual women, heterosexual men, and needle and drug users. Yeah, so those are really, you know, groups that are, I mean, according to the CDC, 1.2 million people are affected and don't even know it. And that's very, very sad.
In this country.
In
this
United
country.
States. So why do you think, I'm looking at the 13 and 24-year-olds, and we talked about that earlier. Why do you think, you know, Black and African Americans are so prevalent to this disease as well?
Lack of comprehensive sexual education within the school system in the United States is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So young people not being able to get educated around birds and the bees and condom usage and contraceptive methods, as well as preventative usage, is a big reason why they're at high risk. Either we know for a fact that the dropout rates between young Black people, those ages are really, really high. So if they're not in school, that means to say there's issues within their living structure, their family structure.
And a lot of these schools don't even have sexual education, which is also another topic that we could even go even more about. So we need a lot of that more. What else were you going to say?
And also the stigma. A young person being able to go to a clinician at the age of 13, 14, 15, and just letting them know that, hey, I might be already sexually active, it's a huge stigma. We definitely know that I identify as Afro-Latina, so my family has a lot of different cultural backgrounds, and that plays a huge role with the young person being able to go to an adult and say, this is what I'm doing, where this is so taboo within the culture or the religion that they're part of. So not getting to their doctors, not talking to somebody about this, and saying that this is happening definitely puts them at risk.
Definitely.
And then being able to have nurses, practitioners, and doctors that know how to properly deal with young people.
Yeah,
when
without
they
just
actually
blaming them
come in.
or judging them.
Or
when
judging
they're
them for what it is
Yes.
that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's another reason why the young people might not access those services in the right and proper way in time for them to know their status or know how to prevent it.
And I think looking at this survey, it goes to show you that it's not just a gay disease. When America found out about HIV, it was just, you know, oh, that's a gay disease, we can't get that. But now, I mean, if you look at the survey, people know that it's affecting a lot of different groups out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the basic thing is that it's whether or not we're using protection, right? But there are other driving forces. So like even the gender, how we learn of gender roles, but access to healthcare, as Tasha was talking about, and poverty and all of those, you know, is really the driving forces. If you're living in an area that doesn't have healthcare, doesn't have access, where the STD rates are high, you know, all of that, you're more likely to come in contact with someone who may have an STD,
Yeah.
right? And because the STD rates is high, then that means that HIV transmission may happen much more readily
faster.
as well too,
Yep.
right?
All right, so I want to thank you ladies so much. You guys are tied 2-2. This last question will reveal the winner. Are you guys ready?
Always.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are.
So the last question is a fill in the blank. Okay? Fill in Fill in the blank. Blank is sexy. Are you marked? Is that go? All right, Jennifer.
Safer is sexy.
Oh my gosh, you won. You won a Safer is Sexy bag. Oh my gosh. And what does this bag have in it? What can you tell our viewers that you have one in here? Let's see.
All right. Well, it looks like I've won a couple things in here. I'm sure there's some condoms in here.
Yes.
So we have large icons, so large male condoms, and then we have female condoms, which is great.
A chapstick.
Yes.
Chapstick.
Stress balls.
Stress balls.
And our bracelets with our social media handle.
All
so you
right.
can follow us
Yes.
on
On
Twitter
social media,
at
yeah.
@SaferSexy and _SaferSexy on Instagram. We always take pictures of our events. So if you can go there and see the pictures of Farrah at our Seems to Be Streets fashion show, as well as Jen here.
Yeah.
And definitely follow us on Facebook.
Yes. And look what I found. A sister to sister. What is this talking about?
This is part of our 3 in 30 program where you don't have to use it with 3 in 30, but you get to talk one-on-one with a health educator about risks about HIV, and it's great.
And it's for 15
to 25-year-olds.
yes.
All right. Well, here you go, Jen. Congratulations to your team. And I just really want to thank you ladies, these phenomenal queens. They do so much for the community, for people. They don't get thanked enough. But I am so inspired by you guys, and I feel so incredibly lucky. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining us.
I know.
Liz coming on our team.
Thank you.
And, I really want to thank you guys for being part of Fahrenheit TV and educating people. Again, if you want to follow Safer is Sexy, follow them on social media, visit their website. It will be put on the bottom of this screen. Thank you so much for watching Fahrenheit TV. On the next episode, we'll do other fun things. Woo! Thank you guys so much. Magic girl. Oh, sorry. Good evening, America. This Saturday marks the annual celebration of St. Valentine's Day. Even though it's not recognized as an international holiday, thousands and millions of people get together to love one another. It's a great time of the year for some of us. While you tune in for another episode of Fahrenheit TV, which we're very, very happy about, here's the weather forecast with our exciting weather girl, Amanda. Bring me more vodka. Vodka. Bring me more vodka.
It's hot, it's cold, it's spring, it's fall. Weather girl, Amanda girl, tell it all. It's Weather Girl Amanda for ya on Fahrenheit TV.
It's winter! Weather Girl Amanda here to give you an update on the forecast. As the season changes with hot chocolate, cozy sweaters, and massive snowmen, we know that this is definitely affecting us because a lot of people don't have health insurance. But I'm here to tell you how you could get prepared for the weather. As we zoom in closer to the US of A, we notice that temperatures are definitely going to be decreasing. Areas up top north, near Seattle and Minnesota, is getting really cold, bringing a lot of that Arctic air to the northeast and traveling a little bit down south. Last month in January, that Arctic cold definitely had people freezing. But in Seattle, where it's really chilly, Minnesota is bringing a lot of those flurries, a lot of that snow back into Boston. But in areas down south near Miami and Houston, it's chilly and very wet, a lot of precipitation. And in Los Angeles, it's cool and wet, so California residents are still getting a little bit of sun. We actually experienced our coldest day last month, where temperatures were as low as 22 degrees, bringing a lot of that cool air towards the ocean with a lot of a snow and rain mix, as we can see. So make sure that you not only have your boots, but you got your umbrella, you got everything that you need, because you do not want to get your weave wet. Okay, so a lot of those flurries are, traveling, and, it's really bringing a lot of areas near, the 413, the 617s. Yeah, it's getting really, really cold, and it's going to be a lot more snow towards the 413 area codes. And as you can see, it just keeps traveling. It just keeps traveling everywhere you go. When you zoom into the neighborhoods, if your neighborhood's around the coast, it's getting really, really cold if you're near the water and stuff. So it's bringing a lot of those, the snow in Boston and Massachusetts and New York. And yeah, it's getting really, really cold. And hopefully, you have somebody to snuggle up with. If you don't, oops. But, according to the city of Boston, the most snow we'll get is 11 inches. And as we look at the high temperatures around the US of A, we notice that the 40s over there is 20s, as well as 30s here in Boston. In the South, the highs are 60s, 70s, and the 60s all around over there. Yeah, so it's getting a little cold, but we also have low temperatures coming up on the next screen. And as we can see, Minnesota is mad cold. Woo! Negative almost 9 degrees at night. Wow, that is really, really cold, y'all. Thank God we live in Boston. But we still got love for you Minnesota residents, because Weather Girl Amanda loves everybody. And Valentine's Day is coming up, and all you secret lovers, couples, and signals that want to holler at your girl, I predict that it will be 34 degrees, sunrise at 6:43 a.m., sunset at 5:15 p.m., and for that weekend, Sunday, with a few flurries, some clouds in the sky, but, not doing too well, not doing too bad. You'll be able to snuggle up either with your lover, your puppy, or that box of chocolate that you love. Everything will be good. But let's look at the forecast for the week after the honeymoon, we should say. So after the honeymoon, we see that Sunday and Monday, still a few flurries, sunny. Tuesday's doing warm, but Wednesday and Thursday, y'all, it's getting real. Massive snowstorm, massive snowstorm, rain. Friday's gonna be chilly, so make sure you wear your leggings because things are getting real outside. All right, well, you're probably wondering, what should you wear, that the weather is dramatically changing like that? Here on Fahrenheit TV, we like to take care of our viewers because we know that when the weather changes, things get real. You don't know what you're wearing. You don't know what to do. This is our biggest suggestion. If you get a massive bubble suit, you could be able to wear anything you like underneath, As you can see, your head is protected, your arms are protected, your feet is protected, everything is protected. #swag. So you're gonna be looking so amazing, So we just want to tell you that this is a winning outfit, and they are available online. I don't have one because I'm too fly and I have a ride, but bubble suits work for everybody. And winter is just a beautiful time of the year. It does get cold and you don't know what to do, but hopefully you got somebody to snuggle with. even if it's just your sheets. Woo! So yeah, winter is here, but Weather Girl Amanda will make sure to keep you on date and make sure that you are prepared. I'm Weather Girl Amanda, and I'm out.
It's Weather Girl Amanda for ya on Fahrenheit TV.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Weather Girl Amanda, for that exciting weather report. Boy, do I love the winter. Did you know that the winter is also considered the season of the blues? We decided to ask some of our viewers how the winter was treating them and on our social media pages, and this is what they wrote. Here are some of the tweets. Wow, we sure do love our Fahrenheit TV viewers. In other news, scientists have said that singing causes the natural feel-good chemicals in your brain, such as endorphins and serotonin, to increase. Here on Fahrenheit TV, we decided to put it to the test. Here it goes. Hit it. Can you turn my music up, please? I've had enough danger and people on the streets. I'm looking out for angels, just try to find some peace. Now I look into your eyes, just let me know. So if you love me, say that you need me. I know a song, I wrote the song, just let me go. And teacher, there are things that I don't want to learn. And the last one made me cry. So I don't want to learn to hold you, do you? Say that you're mine. If you love me, say that you need me. I know it's wrong, baby, I just need one more try. Goodbye. Goodbye. Wow, I feel so excited and happy now. Those scientists sure are right. Thank you for watching another episode of Fahrenheit TV. Good night, America. Happy Valentine's Day! Remember to keep it safe and sexy this holiday. To find out how, watch our full episode about Your Health Matters on YouTube right now. Thanks for watching!